This is my Springfield M6 Scout. It's in 22 long rifle, 410 shotgun. I thought I'd just do a little video of it. I really like this gun primarily because of its utility. It's so versatile. It's a handy little rifle. It's easy to pack and quite light. It's an all metal construction, stamped steel on the stock. Underneath the butt pack here is a ammunition storage for 22 long rifle. There's 15 shots there and 4 410 shotgun shells. But I also have a ammunition cheek rest on my rifle that stores an additional amount of rounds. There's 7 here, and there's another 7 inside here. There's another 7 rounds. I carry a very wide variety of ammunition, whether or not it be just the 2.5 inch number 4s for rabbits, or 3s or number 2s for foxes in the 3-inch magnums, or I have some PDX1 self-defense ammo, I suppose you could call it. I don't know how useful it is in Australia, but probably would be good for foxes. It has 3 copper discs and a series of BB pellets in it as well. So, and that's in 2.5 inch. Besides which, they look pretty cool in black. We've got another assortment of ammunition on the inside. I run Winchester Subsonics. I only run one type of 22 long rifle ammunition. I don't see the point of having a variety of ammunition. I've only got one sight, and I only adjust that red dot sight for a particular range, and there's really no point in having a variety of ammunition where I'm going to have to resight. The 22 long rifle subsonics do everything I need it to do. The other ammunition I keep is, I keep some solids. I also keep a few SGs or triple O buckshot. These have 5 pellets in those. They're handy little useful little devices on anything up to the size of, say, goats. And probably all of this ammunition, the solids and the BBs are up to the size of goats and pigs. And I also have some, well, what I call bird shot, some number 9, in case I really need to take something that I have to eat. Obviously I'm not in the business of wanting to eat small birds, but in the event that I want to, I have the ability to do that. Or quail, if I want to take game. I don't carry too many of anything. This is a survival rifle. If I wanted to take a rifle in the bush that I thought had the capability to take a bit of a variety of game, this is the type of thing I would take. The sights on this rifle are a fixed blade front sight, which you can see there, and a positional rear sight. So there's a notch for the 410 and a peep sight for 22. Although, that said, I don't use it. It's not particularly accurate, and it's not adjustable. It's adjustable a little bit for windage just via the drift inside the dovetail there, but that's about it. Not adjustable for height. And sorry about the screaming of the guinea fowl outside. My primary sight is a Burris Fastfire III. A great little versatile sight, and cheap enough to bring in from the States. The sort that I bought goes straight onto a set of protective ears and then screws down via single threaded screw down onto the rear mount. This mount is designed specifically for a Springfield M6, the Scout rifle, but it's not made by Springfield. You can get the Springfield mount, very hard to get hold of, but this one was made and I bought it online. The guy in the States makes them relatively cheap and pretty easy to get out here. I think all up to get it out into Australia was about $40, which I thought was pretty good, really, and I think $20 of that was for postage. So just I suppose the mechanics of this rifle, and everybody's seen one of these, and everybody has a different view on how you should set it up and all that sort of stuff. Simply a 22 on the top barrel, 410 on the bottom barrel with an ejector. Very basic locking mechanism that locks off the receiver. Very simple. Barrel selector, top barrel, all the way down to the bottom barrel, and in between the two there's an adjustment so that you can have a look at, you can adjust it so that you can lock off, there's a little nail in here, you can lock off the two barrels so that it doesn't fire either barrel. So that's now locked, it's now set between the two. So if for argument's sake you had it all the way cocked, you pulled the trigger or accidentally knocked the trigger, it would land between the two firing pins and therefore not fire the gun. Now, if you need to use that, well, why have you got your gun loaded, stored anyway? It just makes no sense to me, but anyway, it's there. I suppose if you're in a situation where you're out in the bush and you have to have it loaded, because it is a survival rifle, you can have it in that position and know that you don't have to load it, you don't have to make a noise, and all you've got to do is select between the two barrels as to which one you want. That would be the only purpose I could see for that selector. The trigger on this is terrible. I need to get some trigger work done on it and smooth out a few of the sears on the inside to make it a little bit more crisp. Very heavy, but functional. The thing I find with this trigger, it's designed for a whole hand with a glove on it if needs be, but the reality is that I tend to just use my trigger finger straight in on this serrated section of the bottom and back part of the trigger. It makes for a quite odd position with your arm, especially if you've got fairly long arms like I have. Your elbow tends to be cramped right up, but you do get used to it. I tend to find that if you've got a really good solid rest, then when you do fire the shots, it's quite accurate. The 22 long rifle is quite accurate. As much as I don't have any magnification on this, it's done at rabbit ranges, I suppose, and 22 long rifle ranges, and certainly subsonic ranges, and that is probably out to a maximum of about 75 yards. Anything further than that, obviously, depending on your eyes, is difficult to try and focus at that range. It's possible. Younger eyes would do it a hell of a lot better. But with this particular rifle, I find that anything about 50 to 75 is ideal. The 410, a lot of people think that the 410 is underpowered. It's not so much underpowered, it still throws lead out at similar velocities to 12 gauge, but the reality is there's less pellets. So depending on the spread of the pattern, as to whether or not you get a hit on what you're aiming at. That said, more than comfortable with easily taking anything up to the size of a fox with the 22 long rifle or any combination of the ammunition that I hold, and certainly whistling foxes in, and I carry a little fox whistle in there in the event I need it. It's just a really good firearm. It's a great little firearm to carry in a vehicle if you're on a farm. It gives you that versatility if you really need it. And if I need to dispatch livestock, I can do that easily, whether or not I use the 22 subsonics and straight to the brain, or whether or not I use a solid or any combination. Just easy for that. If you've got stock that are injured that badly that they can't move or whatnot, and have to be destroyed, ideal for that as well. Or if you happen to be out, motoring around and, you jump a dam with your 410 and punch a duck, great if you're allowed to, or, take game, whether or not it be rabbits or hares, or if there's a fox out there worrying sheep, ideal for it. So that's my little gun, the Springfield M6 Scout in 22 long rifle and 410, and I'm half tempted to probably get another one in 22 Hornet just to give it a little bit more punch on the top barrel, but really ideal for what I use it for, and I love it. I've put other little bits and pieces on like the paracord and stuff like that, and look, that's all personal taste stuff. I've seen a couple of really good slings that I like that I'll probably look at in the not too distant future. This particular sling just happened to be laying around, so I stuck it on, but yeah, no doubt you won't like that. But the rest of it's really good. The raised cheek piece, just with the ammunition stock, easier probably to get to. The only difference here is that it stores primarily 410 ammunition, and my 22 ammunition is stored in my little box there. Easy enough to get to, I suppose. The other system under here is quite good, but I just felt that raised cheek piece and carrying extra ammunition, and this was the ideal way to do it. I've seen a large combination of people sticking stuff on the side of firearms and all that, and I didn't want to do that. These are becoming collector's items now, and very expensive in Australia. You know, you can fetch up to $1,000 for one of these little cooters. Now, when they were originally born in the US as an aircraft rifle that was used with aircrew, it was nowhere near as expensive as that, and they sold them to civilians with a slightly longer barrel, 8.5-inch barrel, and they were about 150 odd bucks, 180 odd dollars US. Now in the US they're probably getting up to around $600 or $700, depending on what condition they're in. In Australia, easily command $1,000 and probably get it every day of the week, depending on what sort of condition you're in. But great little gun, and the only modifications, like I said, I've made, and I've used the mounting screws and everything for the Picatinny rail on the back, and putting the Burris scope on, just so that I've got a better sight picture and I only have to pick up one focal plane. I don't have to look at the front sight and the rear sight, and then obviously the target. I only have to pick up that red dot, lay it on what I want, squeeze off a shot and I'm away. And it's been very effective. My oldest daughter, young daughter, has taken rabbits with it at 50 yards, so no issues with somebody with really good eyes. Anyway, that's my little gun. Hope you like it. Thanks very much.